You can only choose one. Being able to unsee. Change your Reddit name as much as you want. Your socks never get wet. Forget all your cringe memories of your past. I gotta be honest with y'all, I would choose the golden one and never have my socks get wet. Because wet socks is like one of the worst feelings ever. So actually definitely that one. Because honestly, kind of torn between cringe isn't real and embrace the cringe. Because if you look back and you realize the things you did were cringy, it kind of means you've grown in a way, or at least you've changed. And I don't think that's a bad thing, you know? Hello BabyQueers and welcome back to my channel. It's time for some nice relax me IRL. Because trust me, the videos coming up after this, a lot of them are gonna be subreddits that are gonna frustrate us again. So I decided to take a little break first. So we're just gonna do some relatable me IRL. But you know the deal. Before we continue with the memes, y'all gotta get hydrated, grab some water, or some tea, or whatever else you like to drink. And that will continue with the memes. Are you hydrated? Good, let's go. My self-esteem normally versus my self-esteem when someone tries to tear me down. But literally. I mean, honestly, people keep telling me that I'm kind of cocky because I am very much obsessed with myself. I don't think anyone who's like regularly in front of a camera and has to edit their own videos could do it if they're not like in love with themselves at least a little bit. But still, the moment someone tries being like rude to me or condescending, you can bet it goes into overdrive. Like, who are you to be rude to me, you know? The face I make when I see someone leaving work earlier than me. The audacity. The audacity, especially because I usually arrive at work fairly early because I drive like a little while longer, so it's hard to like predict if there's gonna be too much traffic and if I might like end up late. So I'd rather leave like on time and be early because I just clock in and it still counts. Like it's not I'm just having to sit around and wait at it, not counting as work time really. But if you're there early and then people arrive after you and leave earlier than you, the audacity. Okay, welcome. You're about to be born on Earth. First, let's roll for your stats. Intellect, charisma, and luck. 1, 2, and 4. Oh boy, we messed up. Oh boy. This is probably what happened. No, but to be fair, kind of trying to be wholesome here, it always seems like everyone else has the life put more together than you. And like they're always doing better than you because really other people think the same thing about you, because from the outside you quite often don't see the struggle, and even if you see someone struggling, you don't really like see the full extent of it. But you know for yourself how many moments there are where you feel unsure, or when you're struggling, or the things you struggle with, and it seems like no one else is like struggling with anything. So it always just seems like this, and I think we all kind of feel awkward a lot. But honestly, I don't think this happened really. Like, I think that's just you reading into it really. If we're trying to be wholesome, why does Junior want to leave the country? He has a math test today. Awesome. I swear to God, Duolingo is literally just funny sometimes. It's literally just funny because it does shit like this. And honestly, I think we can all relate to Junior because, especially if you're probably not great at math. Because if you're familiar with my channel, it's kind of just an ongoing joke that queer people aren't great at math. So if you're here, that's okay. I think we all wanted to leave the country because we have a math test coming up. Hey, for real, do I know you? Not really. Good, you've blocked this account. Honestly, like strangers hitting you up on social media, it's always super weird. Because like normal people don't seem to just like hit up random people they like come across because they're friends with other friends or something. And just like, hey, you know what? This person seems cool. Like, I'm just gonna like hit them up and see what happens. Like a normal person. No, it's always like something super cringy of like, especially if you're a woman, you're probably gonna get a lot of creepy dudes who are like, hey, you're really sexy, like wanna meet up, like wanna come to my place, like I really love your butt, I wanna like bite into it. Like, for real, not making this shit up. Like, I was sitting with a colleague the other day and she literally like showed me messages like these and I was like, what the fuck? This is why I'm not on Facebook, by the way, but what the fuck? What does the washing machine gain by lying about how long the cycle is left? Like, if you need more time, just say it. Yeah, literally though, it's just annoying. Because if you look at it and it's like, oh yeah, no, I have 20 minutes left. You're just like, okay, cool. I'm just go do something else I need to get done, or just like enjoy an episode or something if you're just like trying to relax. And then come back to it. And it's been like 25 minutes and it's still like, yeah, no, I have like 10 minutes left. Y'all, washing machines, pull yourself together. Like, we're just trying to see. Like, we're not judging you if you take longer, but we just really like to know, okay? Me, you will have a good life. No. Well, shit. It do be like that sometimes. It do be like that. But I think as humans, generally, just trying to be wholesome again here, we kind of have a tendency to notice the bad more. Because it's kind of important that you're able to recognize things that might be threats and that you might have to fix because they're gonna threaten your life. From like a very basic standpoint. Like, it kind of makes sense to be able to recognize things that don't fit your life. But if you think about those things too much, what's gonna happen is you're gonna miss all the good things happening in your life. Because you're so focused on, okay, I don't know, I haven't achieved this thing yet that a lot of people my age have, or I really should get a more expensive car, or like, I don't feel comfortable. If you just focus on all the things that aren't going well, you're gonna struggle more than you need to. Because recognizing those things and be like, hey, I want to work on fixing these. Fine, obviously, like, that's a good thing. But if you focus too much on that, instead of focusing on, okay, well, these things aren't working right now. I don't like the way these things are. But these things over here are going really well, and I'm really proud of, like, the stuff I have done already. It's gonna help more, trust me, than just focusing on negative. 13-year-old me, I can't wait to become an adult so I don't have pimples anymore. 30-year-old me, like, I swear to God, it is such a scam. It is such a scam. I mean, if you're trans like me and you go on hormone replacement after normal puberty, it's gonna get so much worse again anyways. But still, like, so many adults still struggle with like spots and everything. So this whole idea of, oh no, don't worry, like, you'll grow out of it, you just like get clear skin, is such a scam, honestly. Kyle? Eric? I haven't seen you since high school. So wild. What you been up to for the last 15 years? Nothing. Honestly, I feel like a lot of people from my class didn't go to like a high school reunion that was like a while ago. I didn't go because it was like literally Easter Sunday and I had other shit to do. But I can understand not going because you're just gonna stand there like, oh shit, I haven't done anything yet. Because honestly, I mean, it's not been 15 years for me, obviously. I'm not that old. But still, if that's the reason you don't want to go, that's fair. Also, I didn't go because I don't vibe with most people from my class. And like, I'm not interested in people suddenly acting all friendly when you know you never got along and they never even like cared in high school. Like, why would I care now? So honestly, fair. But this is what I just said. If you only focus on the negative, it's gonna just like feel like you didn't really do anything. But when you stop and think about it, you probably did a lot of things. And a lot of things you could be proud of if you take a moment to appreciate all that you've done, you know? My brain. Eat. Me. Okay, what should we make? My brain. No, mate. Only eat. Why? Fair. This is why it is a good idea to have, like, I don't like the whole, I actually really like the idea of meal prep, to like having things sort of ready that you just need to heat up or that you just need to spend like 5 minutes on. Because if you don't have a lot of energy, because you just come home from work and you're just so exhausted, you don't really want to do anything and you don't want to like spend a lot of time in the kitchen, obviously. Having things you can just like quickly throw together or just like eat cold out of the fridge is gonna be really helpful. Me trying to look busy for the last hour of work, like just spraying the trash, wow. But honestly, not even necessarily like the last hour. Like honestly, like especially if you have late shift and work until 6, like the last hour, I'm usually so much more productive. So honestly, this isn't me in the last hour of work, but sometimes I'm like, I am so unfocused. I need to do something. So I'm just gonna do anything, really. But fair. Me turns on my TV and starts using my phone. My TV. Pay attention. Come on. Hello, you turned me on. Like, pay attention to me now. No. Just no. Because the second you try to sit down to enjoy something you're watching on TV, you're gonna remember that you wanted to look up something, or just feel very interested in looking at memes all of a sudden. I'm sorry, TV. I'm really sorry, but I'm afraid you're gonna have to get used to us being distracted. How often should I trim my nails? Trim them when it hurts to stick your fingers in your butt. For me, that's about every 2 weeks. I mean, you're not wrong, probably. Like, I guess. I guess, but maybe, like, shouldn't the goal be to just do it regularly enough so you don't hurt yourself with doing something like this, or just, like, because you accidentally scratch yourself if you're really clumsy or something? Shouldn't that be the goal? Oh well, I guess you do you. If you don't pay attention to it until it hurts, I guess that's what you gotta do. I've been very happy for the past 2 days, but I swear I can't be this happy. There must be some sort of sad event that's gonna happen in my life the following days. I feel it. Kinda fair. Especially if you struggle from depression. That's just one of the things that's gonna mess you up so badly. That's just gonna make you feel like everything is pointless. Because it's like, in that moment, it just feels like it doesn't even matter how happy you were before, because something will inevitably go wrong. And I'm gonna sound like a dickhead, because obviously if you have depression, you're already very sick of people saying weird shit to you that in that moment, while it would technically help, isn't something you can do. Because I'm just gonna sit here and be like, well, you just need to change your outlook on it. In a way, that is right, but I'm guessing if you have depression, it's not gonna be as easy as waking up one day and be like, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna think differently about things. Because you kind of know it would help in the long run, but it's just so hard to do day to day. So I don't want to sit here and be like, you just need to change the way you think about it. Because asshole move, I know it's not gonna help, like in the moment. But listen, just focusing on the negative that will inevitably go wrong, because that's literally just kind of what life is. Like, things will inevitably go wrong at some point again. But just focusing on that is really so unhelpful. And if you can just like kind of try to shift your perspective like a little bit over time to maybe focus on that less, it is gonna help. Like literally, if you have depression, that's obviously not gonna like immediately fix anything, but it might make you feel like a little bit better over time if you just kind of try to work on it a little, you know? Okay, dude, you seriously need to go out and do something. We've barely talked in the past 7 months, and you aren't doing shit. What do you do besides work? I don't get on Facebook all that much, but all I ever see is you spamming memes. Is this what your life is now? Just looking at fucking memes? Hey, I also make them. Listen, if you're concerned about someone, because it seems like all they're doing is go to work, go home, and like look at memes, maybe hitting them up with something as judgy as this text isn't actually like the route to go. Maybe that's not how you actually like show your concern and be like, hey, listen, do you want to talk about it? Like, is there something we can do? Like, do you want to meet up again? Like, do you want to come over? Should I come over? Whatever. Fine. But maybe this is not the route to go. Reject conformity, embrace cringe. Kind of. This is what I mean. I'm kind of torn between cringe isn't real and embrace the cringe. Because it's only cringy if you actually feel like embarrassed or something by it. So I'm guessing my point is, if you enjoy doing something, or if you want to try out doing something, just do it no matter how many other people would think it's cringy. Like, if you want to do it, who cares if like the majority of people would think it's a cool thing to do? Like, just do what makes you happy and comfortable. Like, I know it's not easy to just like ignore shit other people say to you, but still, reject conformity, embrace the cringe. Just embrace it. When you blow on your ice cream to cool it down, I don't care. If you say you've never done this, you're lying. You're just straight up lying. I blow on ice cream sometimes. I've literally eaten sushi and blown it. I've probably like blown on my salad to cool it down. Listen, if you say you haven't done this, you're just straight up lying. To survive in the wild, you need a reliable source of water. Okay, just because people acknowledge your existence doesn't mean they're your friends. Okay, first of all, tears are salty, don't do this. Not really a reliable source of water. And second of all, fair. And I'm not saying friends are overrated, but I still am very confused by the people who consider like 30 people their friends, because it's like, how do you like actually have like a meaningful connection to that many people? Like, you don't have enough time in the day. Like, we're all just busy with work and everything and our own lives. Like, how do you actually have time to stay in contact with that many people? Just how? 3. Missing a few screws, but in okay condition otherwise. Story of my life, right? I mean, those things can be fixed. Like, you can just buy a couple of screws and put it back together. It's much easier to fix furniture than your life. But still, fixing furniture or something is probably going to make you feel better about your life, and that might be helpful too. How we see the world versus how aliens see it. Unless you're watching Doctor Who, in which case it's literally like London on a map. Basically. Very efficient, extremely good cutter, cuts almost through everything, including skin, tendons, and flesh. Thumbs up for this product. I appreciate reviews like this because it's funny. Because it's not like, sometimes you read reviews and you think someone just wrote them because the company promised them like a coupon or something. And you can read it in the reviews, or you just have these like overly negative people. It's just like, no, I've had better. This is kind of bad because I didn't like this one tiny thing, so I'm just gonna give it 2 stars, even though it's overall a good product. And it's just annoying. But this review is funny. I appreciate his humor. You know, he's like, okay, I fucked up. I had to get my thumb operated on, but you know, it's fine. It's a good quality of knife. Man who thought he'd lost all hope loses last additional bit of hope he didn't even know he still had. This is the moment when, instead of everything going right for a couple of days, everything's just kind of being off for a few days. It's just like, okay, what is this? Like, nothing else can go wrong. Like, literally, just everything bad has already happened. But thinking that is kind of seen as a challenge by life, and suddenly it's like, I have this one more thing for you that I think you're gonna really appreciate. That's just gonna make you lose the last bit of additional hope. For the price of 1 cup of coffee, you could feed a starving child. But I don't want to feed a starving child. I want a cup of coffee. Literally fair. It's kind of giving the vibes of someone being like, well, if you keep buying coffee in like a cafe or a Starbucks or something, instead make it at home. You're gonna save so much money that you can buy like a brand new car in a year or something. It's such rubbish. Because it ignores so many other factors. Like, so many other factors that play into having enough money. Same as, like, trying to guilt trip people to be like, okay, you're responsible for the starving children. You should donate your money instead of buying a coffee. It's such rubbish. Because, listen, donating as, like, an individual person is a good thing. Like, I'm not coming for donating, really. It depends on where you donate, because some companies, instead of actually like using that money for starving children or to improve the lives of people in like less developed countries, kind of just like put it in our pockets. So nah, but you know, donating itself, obviously not a bad thing to do. But the delusion of thinking that you as an individual person can just like improve a lot versus actually having like big companies or the government trying to use their influence for good isn't the best approach, really. Why do you stay at your job if it's that bad? This creature has adapted to the crushing pressure and oppressive darkness. I mean, listen, you don't really realize how bad it is until you're at a new company, really. Because my old job, actually absolute shit show. But you just kind of get used to it very quickly, really. But then if you're at a new job, you either recognize just how traumatized you are because you keep expecting someone to yell for no reason or something like that when something goes wrong, and instead everyone's just like, oh well, that kind of sucks. Well, okay, let's see how we can fix it. And you just caught so off guard by that kind of attitude that you're just like, wait, what? Or you just like tell other people of like what normal is at that old job, and they just look at you like you're completely deranged because it's like, oh my god, how? Are you okay? Like, are you literally okay? So yeah, fair, but also if you can actually maybe consider switching. Interviewer: why do you want this job? Me: I've always been passionate about being able to afford food. Yeah, literally. Honestly, like, I'm really glad. I was going through a bunch of job interviews last year. I'm really glad they didn't pull the typical, okay, why do you want to work for this company? Because, like, really, I don't care. It's just you made it sound like from your job descriptions and stuff that you put out that the work environment is actually fairly functional and healthy, so that's why. But I'm really glad they didn't ask shit like that, really. Please don't talk to me. I have no self-control and will talk for 2 hours and not get any work done. I mean, honestly, at least he's aware. At least he's aware. Or he's just trying to have some peace, which I would also appreciate, actually. The secretary printed 50 blank sheets. When I asked her why she did this, she said she needed 50 blank sheets, but she didn't want to count them manually. Honestly, it's only stupid if it doesn't work. Because you just know that, especially if like other people around you are talking, you might get distracted and have to recount these 50 pages like a couple of times, maybe 2 or 3 times, before you can be sure you actually have 50. But if you just print 50 blank sheets, that's actually, listen, it seems ridiculous at first, because like, why would you print blank sheets? But honestly, you're not wasting ink or anything. So honestly, it's just smart. Leave a negative tip so the meal will be free. Don't do this. Literally just don't. People who work in the service industry already have to put up with enough rude people. They don't need to deal with your shit as well. Don't be an asshole. Come on. Okay, people who keep their phones silent 24/7 are so done with life. I have it on silent most of the time. Like, the only time I have it on loud is if I'm like expecting a call for like a technician or something to come to my house because they need to fix something and I'm waiting for that call because they need to like discuss an appointment with me. Like while I was looking for a job, I did, because I was like waiting for like people from a company to call so I wouldn't miss those calls. And because the doorbell in my current apartment is absolute shit. People who come over know that they should just like text me or call me when they're here, so I let them in. So then I turn it on, but then immediately turn it off again. But apart from that, if you text me and my phone is on silent, listen, you're on your own until I check my phone again. I'm sorry. Okay, why are men always okay with doing nothing for their birthday? Imagine celebrating the day when all my problems started. If you see it that way, it's very easy to say, I don't want to celebrate my birthday. But listen, it also means you managed to somehow survive another year of surviving your problems. And like, that's kind of worth celebrating. I guess trying to be like optimistic again, because sure, you'd have like 100% fewer problems if you were never born in the first place. But since there's no going back and changing that, don't get any ideas. Just don't. But since you can't go back and change that you were born, you might as well try to make the best out of it, I guess. You know? So anyways, that was all the memes. Again, I was just trying to be like optimistic and wholesome. May or may not have managed it. Not sure really, but we tried. Listen, we tried. But anyways, I hope you hydrated. I hope you enjoyed the memes. And I will be back in 3 days with my next video.